Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the 4th Annual Farm Rescue Banquet. It's wonderful to see everyone here. We have people from 8 different states here tonight, many of them volunteers. And of course, it's due to the good-hearted volunteers and the generous sponsors of Farm Rescue that make this possible to assist farm families. This year, we assisted 29 farm families, and we're not done yet. We're still harvesting, but it brings our total to date to 160 farm families since we started Farm Rescue in 2006. This evening, we're going to have some good food, volunteer recognition, and some testimonials from assisted farm families.
A year ago, I didn't have a clue who Farm Rescue was. I didn't know who RDO equipment was. I didn't know who anybody was up here. But Christmas came along and I got this gift that was given to me, and my page designer and my sister created it. And it was a print. It was called The Beautiful Hands of a Farmer. And I got this print and I was just overwhelmed by it. It was just such a wonderful piece of art. And I laid in bed at night thinking, what can I do with this? I have to share this with people. It's too nice to be sitting in my office just hanging on the wall for nobody to see. So I thought about it and I came up with the idea that I would create these prints and I would give all the proceeds to an organization of some sort. Because since this was a gift to me, I wanted for it to be a gift to someone else too. So I started looking on the internet, and there are a lot of nonprofit organizations out there, and I came across this one that just jumped out at me. And obviously that was Farm Rescue. And it was just such a great organization and volunteers, and it was helping injured farmers, and it was everything that I wanted to help. But while I was at the Oliver Show this summer, I had the fortunate circumstances of meeting a young lady, listening to her speak. And she was speaking at our Oliver banquet. She got up there, and I know this girl didn't know anything about Olivers. She was too young. She probably wasn't even born when they were building Olivers. But she got up and she started talking and just blew me away. She really, really was passionate about agriculture. I thought, wow, this girl loves agriculture as much as I love tractors. And the more I listened to her talk, the more I saw the similarities between her and Farm Rescue. Farm Rescue is doing everything they can to save the family farm. She's doing everything she can to keep people on the farms and make them want to keep farming, keep the young people involved. She's grown up in the state of Ohio. She's an Ohio State FFA president, or she was. She was the Eastern Regional Vice President for FFA. She's majoring in agricultural education at Ohio State. Up till now, she's traveled in almost 40 states, talking to top businessmen, government officials, and everybody that she can to educate them on agriculture. And tonight, she's going to talk to us. So I'm honored to introduce to you, for the first time in the state of North Dakota, Hannah Crossan from Wooster, Ohio.
There is an epidemic right now that is more rapid and more advanced than any flu or virus that we've ever seen. And it's people that are not educated about where their food comes from, how their clothes are produced, or how their homes are built. And it is a terrible epidemic. But we all are doing something about it, which is pretty amazing. And I love getting the chance to speak to groups that are truly passionate and truly understand and truly love agriculture like this group does. Now, when Sherry first contacted me to speak, I had not heard of Farm Rescue before. Being all the way from Ohio, I had not experienced it at all. So immediately jumped on the website, started reading the articles, started researching what this organization was all about. And 2 major things jumped out to me from the very beginning. And the first is that you were truly encouraging the next generation, which is what I strive to do when I'm out working with students. And right now I'm actually student teaching. And so I get to work with young people every day that are interested in agriculture. And it's a blessing and sometimes a struggle for me when students aren't interested in something or they think it's silly that we have to learn about soils. But it truly is interesting to see this next generation. However, when I tell other ag teachers sometimes that I want to be an ag teacher instead of doing anything else in the world, they say, why on earth would you want to do that? There's no money. Do you want a family? Do you want kids? Don't become an ag teacher. You don't have time for that. I hate my job. And I think, man, I would kill to have your job. I would love to be getting paid right now for the work that I'm doing in the classroom. But even if I wasn't, and I'm not right now, I love what I do. And as farmers, sometimes that same message is sent across. It's too much work, it's too hard, there's no money, it's too much of a struggle. Don't stay on the farm. And then you all come into the picture and say, please stay on the farm. And if something happens, God forbid, we're here. We're here to lend a helping hand, and we are going to support you no matter what. You have an ally out there, and that's something that we just don't hear often enough. It's such an encouragement for me to be in a group like this that truly is inspiring the next generation. So not only do you spark it, and you provide this avenue for businesses and volunteers and people to come together and help farmers, but then you also start this fire that just continues. And I'm sure as volunteers, once you've gone to one, you want to go to another, and another, and another. And it's just amazing the type of impact that you can have. It's so motivating to be here with all of you and to listen to your stories. And I've already wiped some tears away, and I'm sure that I'm going to need a tissue by the time I get done tonight. And I'm so thankful to know that there's organizations like this out here that are fighting for the same things that I hold so dearly. I am honored to be here and to have the chance to meet all of you and hear your stories and listen to you. And I am just very, very thankful for what you do. And know that I will be taking all this information back to Ohio with me, and I've already kind of poked Bill for things that I can take back and things that I can try to start working on in our state, because even folks that I talked to wanted to know, how do we get an organization like that? How can we help? What can we do? From states away, people want to know how they can contribute to this organization. So I intend on taking a lot of information back with me. But thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and please keep up the good work. Thank you.
The people that we have here tonight are mostly local volunteers, but there's some here from out of state right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hand the mic to them, and we're going to have them say their name, where they're from, and what year they started volunteering at Farm Rescue.
I'm Walt Clunt, I'm from Gemstown, and I started with Bill in 1996, right? 2006. It just seems like a long time. And we were at the Beals, and a very wonderful family that we were at. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Let's just go right. Sean Sitma from Minot. I've been volunteering behind the scenes a little bit since about '06, but doing a little bit of work in 2008 as well near Rugby.
Dave Setti from Wisconsin. It's been since 2008.
Charlie Hardy from Wahpeton. I joined in 2006.
Charlie Barch, Minot, 2008.
Jerry Anderson, Minneapolis. This is my third year, and it just it gives you a warm and fuzzy to do what these guys do and to be with them. They're a lot of fun.
Ron Zacapaico, Keefe, North Dakota. I started in 2007, and it's been a blast.
Tom Olson, I started in 2005. I've been on the board of directors, and I helped Bill with the original organizational papers.
Gene Spitzke from Keefe, started in 2007 also.
Pete Von Bank, Washburn. Louis signed me up a couple of years ago, my second year.
Jay Shep from Bismarck and started in 2010.
Tyler Lautenschlager from Watford City, 2010. Louis Rothman, 2008, Washburn. I'm not cleared for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I would like to thank all of our spouses for allowing us to have this time to go out and play in the dirt. We really appreciate it. So let's have a round of applause for our spouses, please. Then there's another group I want to say thank you to, and that's the boys from RDO. We have a couple of them from our local Washburn establishment. Ron and Kim, we really appreciate all the efforts that you give to us, and thank you for that. And then I've got to tell a little story. Every year they ask what they can do to shorten the banquet, and I'm on the top of the list. Don't let him speak. This fall we had a great farm that we went to at Catherine, North Dakota. I was privileged to work with a doctor from Kansas City, Missouri, and a minister from near Portland, Oregon. And I appointed him our chaplain, and he's the best damn chaplain you could ever want. While we're there, I called Rita because this was a little bit fishy. I said, Rita, I think you sent the doctor out to take care of my physical health and the minister out to take care of my spiritual health, and when you send the mortician out, I'm the heck out of there.
Dale Lampfair, Kansas City, New York, started 10 days ago.
Will Kurtz, Glendive, Montana, and this is my first year.
Clarence Kuss from Jamestown, and I started in 2008.
Bill Crumwoody from Volta, North Dakota, started in 2006, and it's been fun.
Joe Detlefson, started in 2006. I'm from Oaks.
Laura Salveson from Bismarck, 2011.
Janet Berquist, Wilton, North Dakota, 2011.
Eugene Lee, Fargo, 3 years. I'm El Carbell from Washburn. This is my second year.
And I'm Tom Herzig from Jamestown. Known Bill a few years. We met out on the highway in a good way, but this year I had the opportunity of helping Trooper Rourke up by Minot with his farming operation.
First of all, we would like to thank Bill Gross for the vision and the dream that he had. If it weren't for what he wanted to do for families like us, it wouldn't have happened. It's amazing what they do for the farm families. We had 4 wonderful volunteers that came out and helped us. We had Gene, Charlie Barch, Warren, Zach Capico, and Dave Setti, and I'll tell you, we felt like they were our family. When they pulled out of the yard, it was like the tears rolled because they had become part of ours. Talk about wonderful, good men. To have lived their life and done their farming, Dave taking vacation to come do our work, that tells you what kind of people they are. If we wouldn't have had Farm Rescue, we would not have had a crop this year. So from the bottoms of our hearts, we thank you.
This year, the spring of 2011, Farm Rescue seeded 170 acres of wheat for us. Until the volunteers from Farm Rescue came, we hadn't seeded a kernel of grain. These 2 acts of kindness by Farm Rescue freed up time for our family to care for Nathan and Alyssa. We will be forever grateful. To most farmers, 160 acres or 170 acres doesn't seem like a lot. But to us, it meant a great deal. Thank you, Bill Gross, for Farm Rescue. Thank you to all the sponsors and all the volunteers who give their time and talents to help farmers in need. The volunteers are great people. The ones that helped us in 2008, Ross, Nathan, and I didn't even get to meet until we went to the banquet that fall. And this spring, we'll be our friends forever.
If I had to summarize Farm Rescue in a single word, the word that I can think of to summarize Farm Rescue, all the volunteers and all the sponsors, is the word altruistic. Webster.com defines this word as unselfish regard for or devotion to the welfare of others.
I wrote a poem for all you wonderful people who helped us in our time of need. We want to thank everyone from the bottom of our hearts, but we don't even know where the heck to start. So many people have done so much. You made a huge impact instead of just a little touch. We appreciate everything everyone has done, more than words can say. We thank God for all of you each and every day. In our life, there has been some downs, but you came together and turned it all around. Now we know these are just words, and a simple thank you doesn't seem like enough. But we hope someday we can repay you for all of this stuff. Your hearts have been made big, not small, so thanks again for everything, and may God bless you all.
I'd like to also give an opportunity for one of our major sponsors to speak, of course, and we're thankful for all the sponsors of Farm Rescue. We couldn't make this happen without the volunteers and without the sponsors. It does take funding to do these operations to help the farm families, and it also takes equipment to get the work done. And RDO Equipment Company supplies all the John Deere equipment for us, the combines, the headers, the tractors, the air seeders, everything. The maintenance on the equipment, they come out if any maintenance needs to be done, no questions asked. It's all included, and they get whatever equipment we need. If we, they put the latest and greatest technology in it. They put the GPS, the auto steer, the brand new air seeders, 50 and 60 foot air seeders, don't have 1 acre on them when we get them a lot of times, and so they go all out to make sure that Farm Rescue does a good job and we do a proper job to help these farm families. So I'd like to have Kim from RDO and Ron come up and say a few words. Please welcome them.
I look forward to the springtime, not only for myself, because I still help farm with my dad and his brother at our family farm in McCluskey, but around January, February, I usually expect a phone call on my cell phone from Bill Gross, waiting to get pictures and decals and stickers and everything ready for the equipment. For the last 3 years, it's been kind of our honor and privilege to be able to set up the equipment out of one of our dealerships there in Washburn. A couple of the other stores do help out with the other stuff, but going back to the family that was just up here, it really gives it a wow factor. You know, you don't really understand what these families go through, and to be a part of it it really touches the heart. So You know, I spend a lot of phone calls helping Louie and the guys out on the phone, and boy, until tonight I didn't realize how much it does help. So it's just an honor to help and be a part of it.
You know, it's not all about, of course I'm prejudiced, you know, the pretty green and yellow paint. The gentleman, I believe Berthold, mentioned that you know, what RDO does, and you know, he'll support RDO because RDO supports this. That's really not what it's about. That's a huge thank you, and to a real aggressive salesman, that's probably music to his ears, but that's not what it's about. It's about the community. In RDO, we manage and operate the company with a stakeholder philosophy. We have 5 stakeholders, and that's where we base our decisions and our management and what we look at every day. And it's the customer, the employees, the communities, our manufacturers' partners, and this happens to be Deere in this particular instance, and our stakeholder, the 5th one, is the owner group, the financiers of the company. We are truly, truly honored to be here, and we enjoy every minute we can work with Farm Rescue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron and Kim. And I'd have to emphasize again, it is impressive, not only in providing the equipment and the new, latest state-of-the-art equipment, but when we do have problems, just like they were, which isn't often, let's not get any wrong ideas here, it only happens a few times a year, it could happen with anything, but when we say we need some assistance out there, call them anytime. They got a 24-hour emergency service number, and they say we'll be right there. And when they say they'll be right there, they will be right there. They will get someone in a service truck, and they are driving. We had to have a little bit of service just done on some equipment in South Dakota, and they dispatched out of Aberdeen. They were there in just a few hours down by, I think it was maybe Pierre or somewhere, but they're Johnny on the spot. So thank you very much.